Sage Ennis, okay? He's a tight end from Tallahassee, Florida, 6'4", 225. He committed to the Tigers over the hometown Knowles, okay? So kind of spurned them there. A lot of people thought he was going there early, and then Clemson offered, and hey, it's the Clemson brand right now, okay? It's really hot. You got to strike while the iron's hot, and we are doing it for sure. So looking at his film, he plays several positions. A lot of times he's split out at wide receiver. I believe it is in his film. He also plays some quarterback in the Wildcat as well. I like when they have quarterbacks that also play the positions, when they're trying to be a receiver or a tight end. It means they have soft hands usually. So I like to see him play quarterback as well. It's kind of nice. He catches the ball out front. That's one thing I really like in a receiver, especially a tight end who's going to be catching the ball in traffic a lot. I like how they catch the ball out in front of their body and don't wait for it to come and hit him in the chest. He's not afraid of contact. He really goes hard, after some of the blocks on film, which is a welcome sight to Clemson fans. A lot of people want our tight ends to be able to block really well. He sells the block well and leaks out for a pass, kind of when he's going out, leaking out into the flat or whatever. He doesn't have elite speed, but his measurables are good enough, that he's going to be a decent threat in the passing game while also being a good blocker. I think he was a better pass catching, tight end than Garrett Williams, but a similar blocker. He's a better blocker than Jordan Leggett, but not quite as good at catching the passes. So I'm going to kind of put him into a later stage Brandon Ford when he kind of transitioned from wide receiver to tight end later in his career.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison player for sure. Again, Sage Ennis, 6'4", 225. Really, he's a pass-catching tight end, and it looks like Clemson and Dabo Swinney and company are trying to load up on these pass-catching tight ends, something that they've sorely missed since the Jordan Leggett days. And now you have kind of a Jalen Lay, if he can get into it, get his hands kind of softer and be able to get out in the open. Obviously, you have Galloway, who showed some glimpses of what he can do later on in the season, and it'll be nice to see what a full season will look like. A full season will look like that, since it really had to kind of restart. Mm-hmm. But Ennis is going to be there with him. But anytime that we talk about tight ends, we always get reminded that tight end is a difficult position to just start as a brand new, like as a true freshman, I guess you could say, because you've got all these blocking schemes, you got all these wide receiver routes to learn, and so it is difficult to just start out of nowhere in the Clemson offense. So I'm gonna not expect much from a true freshman because I expected a lot from Lay and didn't see him very much, and my other analysts that said, hey, you're not going to see him very much because of that, I didn't believe him, but now I do, because I'm like, okay, tight end is definitely a difficult position to jump in from high school. So we might not see much of him in 2020, but he's definitely a pass-catching tight end that you can look forward to.